Local high school ski and snowboard teams must drive hours to get their reps in. We'll show you what students and their parents are doing to get them there. Plus, the Department of Homeland Security funding is set to expire tonight. We'll bring you the latest from Washington. And Camels Crossing will show you the very unusual traffic hazard in Butte County this morning.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Coverage you can count on.
Chico police arrested 27-year-old Kyle Mitchell after investigating a series of threats against the Jewish community and others. The arrest caught on video by a drone. This was Monday morning after Chico police officers received a request for a welfare check on Mitchell, who had reportedly made a series of concerning statements and exhibited increasingly alarming behaviors. Detectives learned he had registered guns and ammo. They say some of the threats were toward the Jewish community and that Mitchell had also recently held someone against their will using threats of force. The Crisis Response Unit and Bomb Squad found Mitchell outside of his apartment complex Monday evening just before 7. They say he had a knife on him, but they arrested him without incident. Charges included false imprisonment, domestic battery, and criminal threats. We're looking over Lake Almanor now from the Dire Mountain Alert California camera with beautiful snow-covered mountaintop, and now meteorologist Mikkel Hannah Harding has a look at what you can expect for the day ahead.
Well, good afternoon, Baya. We are taking a look at radar and satellite here. You can see at the tail end of this loop right there, just some of that cloud cover pushing in. We're going to see a mixture of clouds and sunshine for today. Already seeing that here from Tom Head Lookout in Tehama County. A little bit of snow on the mountaintops there. A lot more to come, though, as we head through next week. Today, we're nice and dry. We're going region by region here. The northern mountains, mostly cloudy, temperatures in those 50s, near 60 for some places today as well. Not a bad feel. Down to the Sierra, Southern Cascades, more 50s, potentially some spots in the upper 50s for today there. As we head towards the foothills, Magalia, Paradise, right around 64 today. Plenty of sunshine as we head towards the North Valley, mid and upper 60s from Redding. As you continue down towards the Mid Valley, more mid 60s for today. We'll talk about those rain and snow chances coming up.
New at noon, a structure fire broke out early this morning at an abandoned home in Williams. The Williams Fire Department says crews responded around 6 a.m. to a 1,200 square foot house on 7th Street. We were able to get this photo from Terry Payne, who sent it in as a citizen journalism submission. Firefighters say the home has been vacant for at least 5 years and had been occupied by people experiencing homelessness. No injuries were reported. Happening today, Sutter County is holding a meeting to shed light on what's next for growers impacted by the bankruptcy of Del Monte Foods. Supervisors are bringing together stakeholders and other government entities to address concerns and possible paths forward. The meeting is at the Veterans Center in Yuba City at 3 p.m. We are working to learn about the impact of the Del Monte bankruptcy on our local community. We told you earlier this week that Pacific Coast Producers is acquiring key assets from Del Monte Foods, specifically tied to its fruit business, and says it plans to expand its capacity to meet the market demand. It has a major processing facility in Oroville. We visited in 2024 when they were building a new shade structure. At the time, they told us the Oroville facility processes about 100,000 tons of fresh fruit from Butte, Sutter, and Yuba counties. Today, we are meeting with the company's leadership to find out what it means for the Oroville area. Caught on camera, a very unusual traffic hazard in Butte County this morning, a group of camels walking in traffic on Highway 70 near Concow. Check out this first photo. It shows the camels walking back home on Concow Road. The 5 camels got out onto Highway 70 around 4:30 this morning, and this video from Amelia Erickson shows them headed back home. Erickson told us her neighbors own the camels, which have trackers on them. She says they wandered about 5 miles from home across a creek and 2 main roads to get to the highway. The CHP and Butte County Animal Control responded. The owner herded them back home safely. When you're watching Winter Olympians, it's easy to admire the talent, but it's the dedication that truly stands out. At Chico and Pleasant Valley High Schools, ski and snowboard teams are putting in that same kind of commitment. Both programs are thriving, but the season demands a grind from student athletes, coaches, and parents alike. Here's Action News Now reporter Jerry Lennon with the long road to the slopes.
It's a rush that hits early.
I've been skiing for all my life, since I can remember.
and it's a passion that lasts a lifetime.
Yeah, I've been snowboarding ever since I was a kid.
The Pleasant Valley Ski and Snowboarding team is 47 members strong, but competing at this level requires a brand of dedication that goes far beyond the finish line.
It involves such a dedicated person, and you have to really love it to make that commitment.
2 times a week, the team hits the school stadium for dryland training, a mix of calisthenics and core work. But getting to the snow, well, that's where Mom and Dad come in. On Fridays, team members pile into parents' vehicles for competitive racing, traveling to different ski resorts in the Tahoe Basin, going some 5 hours there and back. They do it again the next day on Saturdays for team practice, heading up to Mount Boreal, going again more than 120 miles there and 120 miles back.
We don't have school buses that take us to the mountain. We have the ride board, we have parent drivers.
I always look forward to, even though it's like a 2-hour drive, I mean, it's so beautiful, it's so worth it to be there.
When not on the slopes or classroom, these students find their inspiration in the Winter Olympics.
I learn how just to stay focused, and it teaches me a lot about form watching the skiers.
Seeing their little routines, I think, is really interesting to kind of pick up on what they do and maybe incorporate some of that into what I do before my races.
Coach Krupolo encourages young people to take up the sport through its Take 3 beginner program.
They learn how to ski, they learn how to snowboard, and they move forward from there.
For these athletes, the road to the podium is a long one, but as long as there's snow on the peaks, they'll keep putting in the miles. In Chico, Jerry O'Lennon, Action News Now.
While many students bring their own gear, loaner equipment is kept on hand to ensure financial constraints don't keep a student off the mountain. Congress has until midnight to pass a funding bill for the Department of Homeland Security, but lawmakers have already left town without reaching a deal on reforms to immigration enforcement. Natalie Brand has the latest from Washington.
After struggling through a record government shutdown just a few months ago, TSA agents are among those bracing for yet another partial lapse in funding.
Not being able to come home with a paycheck, it puts a toll on you, and not only on your stress level, but on your spirit.
The TSA is one of the agencies under DHS that would be impacted once the midnight deadline hits, along with FEMA and the U.S. Coast Guard. Lawmakers left Capitol Hill Thursday for a week-long recess unless they can reach an agreement on ICE reforms. For now, both sides continue to point fingers.
Just ask the Republicans. They're the ones holding this up. We're on the side of the American people.
What they're going to do is shut down FEMA, Coast Guard, TSA, and things that hurt real people.
The White House and Senate Democrats have led the negotiations, and while they've swapped proposals this week, Democrats call the offers unserious but have not elaborated further.
President Trump has been and always will be on the side of the American people. He wants our government to remain open, and unfortunately, it appears that Democrats are barreling our government towards another shutdown for political and partisan reasons.
GOP lawmakers have said one of the big sources of disagreement remains Democrats pushing for ICE agents to obtain judicial warrants before entering private property, as well as prohibiting masks. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
With the Senate out on a week-long recess, the department could be shuttered for at least 11 days unless an agreement is reached and members return for a vote. Thinking of tying the knot on the most romantic day of the year? Time's running out for you to make it happen. Plus, a crab feed for a cause. We're joined by the Shiners that here in the studio when we come back.